Laboratory testing of animals involves testing of products on animals, either medical or cosmetic, to determine if the product is safe for human use. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration is the governmental agency responsible for this oversight. Although it is not mandatory to test cosmetics on animals, it is still widely used due to the reliability of the testing. Manufacturers who still utilize animal testing claim that it is the most accurate way of determining the safety of new products. Animal rights groups, however, do not believe in animal testing and believe it should be outlawed. Currently, there is no new method for testing products that rivals the accuracy of animal testing for new ingredients. The first signs of animal testing dates back to as early as 300 BC, when Aristotle and Galen, Greek physicians, were using animals for experimentation. This practice grew in popularity as medicine became more advanced. In the 20th century, new drugs were being introduced to the market. In 1938, the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act was signed. Under this bill, animal testing for medical products would be mandatory. It is unknown the exact timing that animal testing began to be used. In the 1950s and 60s, magazines began to publish articles about the conditions of animals kept for research, and the public interest in cosmetic testing began to grow. The increased interest resulted in the passage of the Animal Welfare Act in 1966, which was created to address humane treatment of animals kept for research purposes. On June 23, 2015, the new bill was introduced, labeled the Humane Cosmetics Act, which proposes that the testing of cosmetics on animals be eliminated completely, beginning 1 year after the enactment of the bill. Interestingly, more than 30 countries worldwide have abolished cosmetic testings, including every country in the European Union, as well as Norway, India, and Israel. In the United States, our animal rights activists are looking for the same goal. They believe that testing on animals is inhumane, cruel, and not cost-effective. The Humane Society of the United States believes that there are thousands of ingredients that can be used for cosmetics that have already been tested for safety and successfully marketed. These groups also claim that there are alternatives to animal testing, and these alternatives should be used instead. The most common one they propose is referred to as in vitro techniques, in which cells or tissue from an animal or human are placed in a culture and tested on. They believe that cosmetic companies should use these pre-existing ingredients for their products instead of introducing new ingredients. Cosmetic manufacturers do not believe in the in vitro method, however, saying that it is not actually a viable alternative. There is not enough technology to replace live animal testing with this method. They say that we do not understand the complexities of the human body enough to develop cultured representatives of the same research that is currently being done on live animals. They also argue that if testing was banned in the United States and a new material was introduced to the cosmetic industry, there would be no method for testing the safety of the new material and halt the process of creating more effective and safe products. However, most cosmetic manufacturers seem to have hope that there will be an alternative in the future that will allow them to stop using animal testing. The Interagency Coordinating Committee on the Validation of Alternative Methods was established in 2000, with the goal to establish guidelines that will promote new testing methods that protect human health and reduce or potentially replace animal testing. As of 2016, that alternative has yet to be found. People who raise animals are known to raise their animals, for the most part, humanely. This is true of my family's farm. All animals at home are provided freedom of movement, sufficient feed and water, and their general happiness is looked after. There is an idea among animal lovers that laboratory animals are kept inhumanely, and so this leads to the question being raised as to the humane treatment of laboratory animals. A common belief is that laboratory animals are tortured for the purposes of testing. Pictures circulate the web showing cruel treatment of animals in the lab, further strengthening this commonly held idea. Coming from an animal background, I tend to believe that cosmetics have advanced to a point in which we no longer need animal testing for them, especially if we are working on developing methods for testing that may be just as effective. However, the concept of testing is an interesting one, and I can certainly understand where it would be necessary for new products that are being introduced to the market. I do not believe that the animals being tested on are being tested on inhumanely. There are veterinarians and veterinary technicians working in these laboratories right alongside cosmetic manufacturers, ensuring that the animals being tested on are being provided the health needed to show the results that are needed. With the help of cosmetic manufacturers and animal lovers like us alike, we can reach that end goal to develop a new method and finally rid of the necessity for cosmetic animal testing.